harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers.
Welcome back from that, and to the Vanguard newspaper we go, the paper that we'll be taking this morning to jumpstart this segment. The Vanguard is talking about the presidency, Atiku, Afenifere, MBF. Others clash over Tinubu's midterm report. Others clash over Tinubu's midterm report, and the writers here says economic reforms biting harder. Afenifere is saying first 2 years disastrous. MBF is saying a claim of economic revival insults to suffering Nigerians. Claim of economic revival. Remember, the president in his 2-year midterm speech, he talked about economic revival. Wabara, I think Wabara is the PDP Board of Trustees chairman, says it is an insult to suffering Nigerians. Democracy thriving in Nigeria under Tinubu. Presidency is telling us that democracy is thriving under his administration. Our policies unstoppable, irreversible. I don't know if we should celebrate policies irreversible. Policies irreversible. What if it's a mistake? I should think you can be a bigger person to say, you know, we reverse this policy if it's not working. But the APC is assuring us that their policies are unstoppable and irreversible, however it is perceived. Maybe it's phrased a certain way, but I think what they mean here is just that they believe in what they are doing, what the APC is doing, what the presidency is doing, his policy trust, and Nigerians should align. The Vanguard, just like other papers this morning, has here a signed congratulatory message from this Senator Abdulaziz Yari, who has taken the entire space to congratulate the president, celebrating 2 years of leadership and progress, he tags it. The entire Vanguard newspaper this morning has that congratulatory message. We have several of such, and with that we move on now to the Tribune newspaper. The Nigerian Tribune newspaper also has the entire paper is a congratulatory message. Same from Senator Yari, who is congratulating the president for his 2 years in office. A lot of people would ask if it's that significant to do all this for 2 years in office celebration. Well, but I don't know. But the Nigerian Tribune newspaper was able to squeeze in some stories here. Above the masthead of that newspaper, we have outrage as students sit for WAEC exam at night. Body apologizes. Outrage as students sit for exams at night. We saw that with touches, that's phone touches. And I ask myself, aren't we supposed to discourage electronic use during examination? It is really sad that students will have to be subjected to this. If you do not have everything in place, why don't you come back? Sometimes I also saw a video of the dilapidated place where some students sat for an examination. There is no way some of us would learn anything sitting in that kind of environment to learn, and talk less of writing an exam. Well, the body is apologizing. Minister orders thorough investigation. I want to be childish on air today and say, aha, again, here we go. What did I expect, right? From what response did I expect? The minister has ordered thorough investigation. That's what it said here. And beside that story, we go straight to the African Development Bank. Sidi Quad Ta of Mauritania succeed Adesina at African Development Bank. Congratulations to him. We waited with we waited to hear the announcement, and eventually it came yesterday that the Mauritanian has succeeded Adesina. It was interesting when I saw a bit of a campaign. I saw several people who thought they could emerge and why they should be picked and all that. It was interesting to see that. But I loved how seamless it was. I wish our elections would be like that. Nobody's abusing the next person. Everybody's just there talking facts as to what you hope for the African Development Bank. And it was really, it had decorum, if you ask me. I think we should learn from that. 21 die, 10 missing in Niger flood disaster. Oh my goodness, that's unfortunate. As many as 21 people have lost their lives in Niger flood disaster. I just hope something is done. We cannot afford to be recording such dire numbers of people passing on. Okay, we quickly move on from there to the This Day newspaper this morning. The This Day has here splattered same congratulatory message from Senator Yari right there to the president celebrating his 2 years in office. But above the nameplate, we have Total Energies strike deal to sell interest in Bonga oil field for $510 million. Total Energies strike deal to sell interest in Bonga oil field for $510 million. And the rider here says Roger Brown, Seplat will redefine Nigeria's gas future through innovation. NLNG launches Human Capital Development Program for 5 billion naira Train 7 project. That project has been ongoing for some years now, but it's announced here that the NLNG launches Human Capital Development Program for $5 billion Train 7 project. U.S. Federal Appeal Court reinstates Trump's tariffs after trade court ruling. U.S. Federal Appeal Court reinstate Trump's tariffs after trade court ruling rather. That's talking about those executive orders where Donald Trump had introduced some tariffs. Those tariffs has indeed been reinstated. Okay, we move on now to the Business Day newspaper. The Business Day newspaper has an interesting story here. It doesn't have a congratulatory message. However, it does have the trade and economic policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I am going to read every single one to you right here. It says trade facilitation and industry support, fiscal reform and revenue modernization, economic governance and subsidy realignment, open governance and institutional transparency. I think simultaneously it has launch of advanced ruling and authorized economic operator. That's the NCS contributions to trade facilitation and after alignment. That's the African Continental Free Trade Agreement alignment. Dedication of special terminal for clearance of export goods. Launch and rollout of a Podogu platform, that's indigenous custom automation system. Cargo clearance times improved. AO certified AVG 43 hours versus 57 days. Yeah, that's something to celebrate. Trade value rose to 196.94 trillion naira in 2024 from 70.5 trillion naira in 2023, amounting to a 179% increase in trade value. We have here Nigeria First initiative. Now I'm talking about the policies of the president, economic and trade policies of the president. We have trade facilitation and industrial support, fiscal reforms and revenue modernization, economic governance and subsidy realignment, open governance and institutional transparency, Nigeria First initiative, corporate social responsibility and national development support, expanding Nigeria's continental and global influence. And we have that's what the Business Day highlighted this morning as President Tinubu's midterm assessment. Now he also has an editorial right here. He says, inside Nigeria's multi-billion-dollar generator economy, inside Nigeria's multi-billion-dollar generator economy. While we are here trying to improve our energy supply in the country, there is a sector that is making a lot of money because Nigerians do need energy, and that's the generator industry, where unfortunately it comes with a lot of noise pollution, comes with a lot of environmental and toxic exposures that we were hoping by this time in our collective growth in the country we would not be recording a boost or boom in the generator industry. If anything, we should redirect this to solar. But unfortunately, the generator economy is booming, and the Business Day says here that it's a multi-billion-dollar generator economy. That also exposes us to how bad our energy supply or energy needs are. We move on now to the Guardian newspaper this morning. The Guardian, Yari has taken over the Guardian as well. The Guardian has his congratulatory message taking over the entire show. But thanks to Guardian, we're able to squeeze in some messages right there. It says, Ohaneze, others fault Tinubu's scorecard as APC blames past leaders. Ohaneze, others fault Tinubu's scorecard as APC blames past leaders. And we also have right on the nameplate of the Guardian newspaper this morning, Atiku, African Development Bank, PRP flag federal government's loan plan despite impressive IGR returns. Atiku, AFDB, PRP flag federal government's loan plan despite impressive IGR return. Okay. Man decries 18,000 job cuts, hostile environment. Man, that's the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, decries over 18,000 job cuts, hostile environment. Amnesty International says gunmen killed 10,217 persons in 7 states. You can pick that story. It's on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper to know where the states are, what period is being under review, and what happened right there. But it says gunmen killed over 10,000 Nigerians, and that is very concerning right there. Very concerning, because unfortunately we read these stories and shrug. We have become so used to the fact that we are dying, and not for natural causes but for insecurity. So we really need to do something about it. It's really unfortunate that we are recording this. We move on now to the Daily Trust newspaper. The Daily Trust is spotlighting Niger flood, but that's not to say the entire front page wasn't taken by Tantita this time. Tompolo also congratulating the president on his 2 years in according to how it is phrased here, of outstanding service and achievement. A congratulatory message to Iyalawe of Garamautu Kingdom, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Okay, so I think Tompolo has conferred, or there's some title again that the president still holds. That's apart from the one he got from the southeast. So interesting times. However, there's a story the Daily Trust newspaper was able to squeeze in here. It says Niger flood, family loses 12 members, over 50 Almajiri missing. 50 Almajiri missing. That's quite unfortunate, because we had taken that story earlier and it said 21 die, 10 missing, and here the Daily Trust is telling us that over 50 Almajiri missing. That's bad, and I hope that we would eventually get these people who are missing. I don't know, the flood must have been really bad. I saw pictures, it was really unfortunate, and this is a time when we should start doing more. You know, when we sit on the show and talk about our environmental plans for the nation, we talk about climate change, sometimes we talk about it as if it's far-fetched. It's not something that is hitting us in the face right now. It's not something we should start acting with some sense of hurry. But we still record these people dying. We still record the attendant effect of environmental degradation. We are still recording floods that are sweeping off homes and killing people. Imagine a family losing about 12 people. 12. That's an entire family, with extended included. It's so sad that this is what's going on right now for the Niger people. Our love and absolutely go to them. We send our love to them right now. We just hope that they will get solace. The president will do something about this in-season recording of floods. It seems like we almost expect it. Unfortunate, but it's true. We almost expect floods to happen. We almost always know. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency constantly gives us these projections and tells us about the flood-prone areas in Nigeria. After that proclamation is done, we sit back and do nothing about it. It becomes a business as usual. Very unfortunate trend that really has to stop. We really need to start looking forward to, and I expect that while it's all fun and games to say the president has gone midterm into, he has got 2 years into his term or his tenure, we should also highlight some of these issues. What are we doing? It's not just to come up and congratulate him and be all political, but a lot of people are dying, and if the president does not know that we need to increase effort in certain sectors, he wouldn't improve if we all have, oh, the president has done well, the entire front page of major newspapers has been taken to applaud the president's work. He's taking Nigeria to the next level. But we really need to get serious about what people are facing in the country. We really need to get serious. And what's happening in Niger State is really sad. The flood that has taken so many people. And when you look at the Almajiri structure, these are people who largely, I don't know if they have proper homes, but they largely do not have proper homes. And so it's easy for this kind of mishap to get to them. And we have worked on or tried to see how this particular initiative, the Almajiri initiative, could be married into something that gives them more dignity. There's no reason why they cannot learn the Islamic ways in better conditions, so that they are not exposed to all these things that they are exposed to. It's really, really, really sad that young people, because that's largely the people who are affected by this, young people who are hoping to learn and better their lives. And so when we highlight these things, it's sad for me. I'm a mother, so naturally you would know that it touches me to hear that young people, such young people have been probably swept away by flood. As many as 50, that's what the Daily Trust recorded, as many as 50. Imagine how many parents have lost, sometimes some of them even siblings, meaning from the same family. I can't really factor it. I could not just move on from that. As a matter of fact, this is where we draw the curtains on the newspaper review segment. It's on a very unfortunate note. While we all celebrate the president's midterm achievement, we should also look into some of these other issues that are really affecting Nigerians. We'll be back with Farida, with startup. Farida will be giving us the startup shortly. We'll be back after that. Stay with us. This is still Aso Morning.
In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, We discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Startup Show. We're very excited to have you back today with us to have an interesting conversation today about why it is important for us to be able to feed back into our agricultural sector, but also to do it innovatively. As we know, there's a lot of technology going around. There are a lot of ways that we can be able to improve not just our food, but also our livestock. So I'm excited to have my guest today speak to us about this and how her company is doing this to be able to change the livestock landscape in Nigeria. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
People's TV, Channel 2.
Welcome
We
again. Thank you
are
for
a
joining us.
nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for.
This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, Honors Television, DSTV, Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial, Channel 127, Free TV, Channel 507, People's TV, Channel 285, and UHF, Channel 38.
Back viewers, and thank you again for joining us on this exciting episode today of the Startup Show with Farida Aya. I remain your host, Farida Aya, CEO of the Brief Academy. The Startup Show Season 3 is brought to you by the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund with support from the Co-Development Hub. Our conversation today is going to center around the agricultural sector, like I mentioned earlier, and we have an exciting guest with us today. Aisha Morning is the CEO of Grab Lifestyle, and she'll be talking to us about her business and how they're innovating the landscape in the agricultural sector. Hi, Aisha.
Hi, Farida. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. We're excited to have you here today. So tell us a bit more about yourself and why you started Grab Livestock.
Okay, my name is Aisha Sidi. I'm the founder and CEO of Grab Livestock, like she had mentioned earlier.
Yes.
I'm a chemical engineer by profession and a social entrepreneur. Social entrepreneur in the sense that most of my businesses, I try to ensure that they're having a certain kind of impact on the community that I live in. And also, I'm a Mandela Washington Fellow, just like you. And I have an MBA in marketing. And that's basically it.
So why livestock? Why did you decide to have a livestock business?
So my grandmother is Fulani.
Interesting.
Yes, she's Fulani. So growing up, we usually visit the Ruga. That's what the Fulani village is usually called.
Yes.
So we usually visit the Riga and we see our cousins moving around with the livestock, taking them out to graze them and stuff like that. So why I started this livestock market is because most times, you know, the Fulani people are seen as people that you can easily exploit. Not just them, rural farmers.
Yes.
In Nigeria, if you go to all these livestock markets, you usually meet the middlemen. They're the ones that give you price, and they usually like increase the price, like inflate it. You understand? And at the end of the day, you see the real farmers that work hard to rear this livestock don't really get value. The middlemen take over 30% of their profit. So that's why I decided to launch the Grab Livestock, where we'll give these rural farmers direct access to customers. And we're also trying to ensure that the urban customers will be able to get livestock at good prices.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. That's really interesting, and I think I like the model. I mean, you did introduce yourself as a social entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So I like the model of looking at both sides, right? Trying to give impact back to the people who actually own the livestock, and also making sure that, you know, the middlemen do not take so much, and also making sure that the right quality at the right price is gotten by the consumer. What has it been like, the journey for, you know, Grab Livestock? How long have you had it for, and you know, what would you say has been some of the major challenges setting up this business? Okay,
Grab Livestock, we launched in October 2023. Actually, it's just part of our bigger company, which is Grab 247 Company Limited. We started off with delivery, and we later pivoted to just the livestock e-market. Of course, the delivery angle is still there, but then it serves the livestock e-market.
I see.
Yeah. So the challenge that I faced is with the technology. You know, I'm a chemical engineer, so I'm not really that techie. Yeah, so finding like reliable developers that would develop the technology in a way that is to work efficiently without any hiccup, it was a serious challenge. We had to like keep changing developers, and finally I had to even force myself to learn most of these tech skills and stuff like that to be able to ensure that I'm getting the right thing to deploy to our customers. So yeah, that's one of the challenges. And another challenge we face is with the rural farmers, you know, trust.
Yes.
You can't just come and tell me that, okay, I should sell my livestock with you. How different are you from the middlemen that they usually meet in the market? So it took us like meeting all these community leaders the livestock cooperatives, and we went to speak to them. We show them our technology. And our technology is not just markets. We also have an AI incorporated in it, where you can verify the health of the livestock that is being listed. Yeah. So once the vendor or the rural livestock farmer take a picture of the livestock they are trying to sell, by the time they upload it on our platform, the AI at the back end will vet the livestock to ensure that it's healthy enough before it's being listed. I'm sure our viewers will be wondering, how can you vet a livestock by just taking picture?
Yes,
you know, with AI you can do a lot. It's just like a human. If you go to the market, you have to physically examine the livestock.
Yes.
You check the skin, you check the body mass to see how fat it is.
Yes.
You check the skin to ensure there's no injury, and then you check the eyes, there's no discharge, and then you check the fuba, what is it called, under. You understand? So that's what the AI look out for. Yeah. So
AI is trained to look out for those things.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. So yeah. So those are basically the challenges we face, like trust, like I mentioned, and then getting the right tech people to work with.
Yes.
And finally, we had little issue with our logistics, but then we're able to overcome it with by building relationship with other logistic companies and this NURTW and stuff like that.
Yes. That's interesting, and I love the fact that you touched on partnerships. I want to come back to you as a person. I know you told us the challenges as a business, right, as a company, but for you as a person, you know, what are some of the challenges that you faced breaking into such a market? I don't see a lot of women as, I mean, yes, in the rural areas we see women as the people who own the cattle, the people who push. But then when it comes to what you're doing is even more than what the middleman is doing, right? You're literally like a bridge between the people who own the cattle and the customers. What are some of the challenges that you have faced, you know, as a woman trying to do this business?
So I won't say challenges, because the people I've met have been really supportive, surprisingly enough. Yeah, so most times if we go to a village or we go to a market that we're trying to like onboard their farmers to our platform, we don't just go to them. So we go to the community leader or the market leader or the cooperative leader, and then we introduce ourselves. Sometimes I don't really allow myself to talk first. I have a co-founder and we have other team members. So I allow them to like speak first, and then later on they will now introduce me as the CEO. And sometimes in the process of them speaking, they'll be asking questions, and they will see like, oh, she's answering. She has more in-depth knowledge on the whole thing. So it now makes it easy for them to kind of accept me. You know, northern Nigeria, and looking at women as, you know, you have to be behind and stuff like that. So, you know, I try to avoid pushing myself like in front, since I understand the tradition and stuff like that. So I always allow the men do the talking, and then later when I will come in, and surprisingly enough, they will now accept and give us the what we want.
That's really interesting. I mean, you have to learn to survive and adapt.
Honestly.
And I like the fact that, you know, you're also respective of the culture, because I know most of the time when we bring in something new to a community, the challenge is that people just push back because they feel like it's something that is foreign to them. So coming from that angle of respecting the culture and the tradition because you understand it, makes it easier for people to be able to open up to you. On the side of the customers, what are some of the success stories that you can share with us when it comes to people who have, you know, bought from you and they feel like they saved more money than if they had gone directly to the market?
So I have some customers from Ibadan. When we launched in 2013, I think in 2014 they bought their Salah ram from us. So they bought their Eid al-Fitr Salah ram from us, and then during Eid al-Adha they also bought few rams from us. Surprisingly enough, if you know the number of people that they brought to us in Salah, so obviously they said our rams are cheaper.
Interesting.
Way cheaper compared to what they can find in the market. And you know, most times people kind of inflate the prices when they take it up south.
Yes.
You understand? But for us here, they can get it at the price that people here like buy their own livestock. The highest they'll pay is for delivery. And if you add the delivery amount, they are going to save a lot compared to them buying from their own markets down south. So yeah, the prices are way, way, way cheaper. In short, I have a Baba now in Ibadan. He calls me his daughter.
Anytime you're adopted.
Yes, he's my number one. Is the advocate? I mean, how I call it? Yeah, he's always like bringing their people. Like this Salah, we're going to send like a whole truck full of rams for them.
Wow,
yeah.
Wow, that's really impressive, and I'm happy to hear that. So I want to shift gears a bit to talk about social impact. I know, of course, at the core of what you do already, there's so much social impact. But when you look at the startup ecosystem, right, and corporate social responsibility, giving back to the community, what are some of your perspectives in terms of how startups can do better or can do more in terms of giving back to the community?
So I'm a Muslim, so most of my businesses, I'm a two-time founder. I have another business that I'm doing. So any of my business, before starting them, I try to bring an impact side to the business, and it has kind of helped in bringing baraka. Let's say that's the religious angle, you understand?
Yes.
But as for the social and the norms angle, let's say once your business is having an impact on a certain population, sometimes they'll be the is it your advocates? There will be people like telling people, oh, come and patronize this business, they are doing this, they are doing that, they are doing this. You don't really have to like push in too much. For example, when it comes to this our e-market, like I told you, the Baba, he's always calling his people to come and buy from me and stuff like that. And then when it comes to the rural livestock farmers, they are also like our voice. They'll be telling like their other farmers, Kuzo, come and buy from her, come and sell your livestock from her because she's going to give you like higher profits and stuff like that, or unlike the ones that they take to the market and the middlemen take most part of their profit or stuff like that. So if you are impacting someone's life, they kind of help your business grow. You understand? They are kind of how would I put it? A voice. That would campaign for you or something. And apart from that, if your business is just profit based, it's, for example, for example, let's say sometimes, with business you need motivation all the time. So if you're doing it just for profit, sometimes you might not have the motivation to keep it going.
You might not feel pushed to do
you might not have the motivation to keep it going. But imagine if your business is impacting someone's life. For example, today I will say, oh, I don't want to do grab livestock again. You can imagine the number of livestock farmers that will keep calling me, Haja, we want to sell our livestock. And you can imagine the number of customers that will keep calling me, oh, we want to buy, we want to buy. That's enough is a motivation. You understand? And other opportunities that will also come up because of the social impact. Like recently during the IOT's Africa Challenge, some startups were dropped down because their business were just profit focused.
Interesting.
So imagine if you're running a business and it's just profit focused, you miss some opportunities. So
you're very right. You're very right. And I like the fact that you spoke about the challenge, because that's where I'm going next. I know you just won, the prize. Tell us more about that. Right? What was the process like for you, and I mean for your business? What does this mean for your business? Winning such a prize, what does it mean for your business?
It means a lot. It's a form of saying, okay, you're doing the right thing. You're actually on track. You understand? So the process of the challenge was intense because there were like 1,000 applications.
Wow.
Yeah, from there we were shortlisted to like 50, from 50 to 20, from 20 to 10, and finally to the top 5. Yeah, and it was an amazing opportunity for us to like get mentored during the boot camp. The top 5 we were at the boot camp where we were mentored by like industry leaders, people that are into the whole agric tech stuff, and they used to like farmers, used to like interacting with farmers and stuff like that. So being part of the boot camp was really amazing because it gave us more deep insight on what we're doing. It's like we're like I was planning to build a mobile app for the rural farmers. You understand? Now it's just on a web base. You understand? And then during the boot camp, one of the mentors was like, "Oh, Aisha, you can't build a mobile app for these rural farmers because most of them don't have smartphone." Of course, I'm aware of that. So he had to suggest I develop a USSD.
USSD, yes.
You understand? So imagine if I had not gone for that bootcamp, I would have wasted my money building a mobile app for farmers that don't even have a smartphone. So these are the kind of benefit you get from being part of such competition or challenge. You understand? So the bootcamp kind of help you to remodel your idea, to remodel your business, and to ensure that they kind of push you in the right direction. You understand? They kind of mentor you and give you. Of course, it's rigorous. Like sometimes it's hard for someone to keep like condemning what you're doing and stuff like that, but it comes in a point of they're trying to make you better and stuff like that. So imagine if I'd wasted money building a mobile app for those people that don't even have the mobile phone.
You're right.
So it was an amazing opportunity, and then it's also a form of recognition because now everyone knows about Grab Livestock. You understand? So I'm so grateful for the platform.
That's amazing. I mean, you didn't talk about the money, but I mean, I still have to mention it, right? I can imagine what that's going to do to your downline and to your business, right? Having $12,000 into your business, being flushed into your business and helping you to just jumpstart and skyrocket. And I really like what you said about remodeling, because when you talk to experts, they have a different perspective. Sometimes as a founder, you're too passionate. You just want to do this thing, you want it to be this way, because I've been a founder, right? So I know how it's like. But I really like the fact that you said they give you a different look, so you're able to model properly, because again, as much as you want to make impact, the business needs to also make profit. So I'm really glad that exposes you to a wide array of conversations and expert lens that you normally would not have access to. And I think when we talk about grants and opportunities like this, and access to certain, competitions and challenges, people only think about money. But just like what you said, there's so much more that you get out of it more than money. And I think for all the partners and the people that come together to do this, that's also part of their objective, is they want to see how they can do more than just give you money. Because, there's a popular saying in the startup space that, money comes when you do the right thing. It might be slow, but it will still come, right? So I can imagine you've been building this business since 2023, right? And this is almost 2 years now. And I'm not sure, but is this like your first major grant for the business?
In
like
short, this is the first major grant.
Exactly. So you can imagine if you had stopped, like you said, if you had stopped after 1 year, after a few months, and you're like, no, this is not even worth my time. But now you can be able to see that, okay, there's an affirmation that you are on the right track, and there are people who need this product and service. So kudos to you, Aisha. Thank you so much, for staying on board and continuing to help our farmers. Before I let you go, I want to hear from you what advice, right, or what do you think the government can do more when it comes to the startup ecosystem? How do you think the government can support the startup ecosystem more, either in form of just being, legislations and laws, or even people who implement those laws? What do you think policymakers can do better to support the startup ecosystem?
Okay, before I speak about policymakers, I want to say something to startup founders like myself. So when we started Grab 247 Company Limited, which is the main company, we started with logistic, and then business was good and everything, and then later on, there was this major company that came in, and then they took most of our customers. You understand? So we're like struggling. So that was what prompted us to build something. We started Grab Livestock and stuff like that. So it's very good as a startup owner. If you see something is not really working, try and pivot. You understand? You can try and pivot. Just like the story of Amazon, they started with selling books online, and then they had to, do more and stuff like that. So when you're doing something and it's not working, try and pivot. You understand? Don't just give up. And for policymakers,
I like the pause. She's like, let me think about this too well.
For example, in my own industry, I've had people that want to buy like all these foreign breeds, boar goat from South Africa.
Yes.
Okay, and most of this livestock that we consume here in Abuja, most of them are gotten from Niger. I don't know if you all are aware. Yeah. So like, but then people do it in the wrong way. You understand? Because, for example, when someone asks me, okay, I want to buy boar goat, and he wanted like 100 boar goats.
Wow.
But then we don't have it here. I had a contact that I was supposed to buy from South Africa, but then guess what? They said I have to smuggle it in.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that the Nigerian policy or whatever does not allow you to like rightly bring in the livestock. So you have to ship it to Ghana and then you smuggle it in to Nigeria. Wow. Why? It doesn't make sense. You understand? Yeah. It doesn't make sense. Since people want to buy it, there should be an enabling environment for them to trade fairly.
Yes.
You understand? Even for the livestock that they bring from this Niger Republic, most of them are smuggled in.
Wow.
Imagine if the government put in policy or policy to ensure that these things are done the right way and they are done like very easily. You understand? Imagine the opportunity would have been able to explore.
Yes.
Yeah. And imagine the job opportunities our youth will be able to get by this, because most of them will be maybe be able to be maybe logistic partners and stuff like that. Yeah. So they should make all these things, they should make policies that will make trade easier for us in this continent. Because South Africa is also Africa. Yes. So they need to make policies that will make trading easier for us. And it's not just livestock. Even all these agricultural products. You see Ghana, they export their stuff like internationally. And they have this very good international reputation when it comes to export and stuff like that, because their government gave them the enabling environments. But we don't have that in this country. We don't have that. Not just the livestock, normal foodstuff, yam, shea butter. I was in Japan recently and they told me that Ghana have the best shea butter. That's a lie. Wow. Nigeria is the highest global producer of shea butter. Yes. You understand? They come in here, buy the seed, and you know, they take it to their country and they process the shea butter. And internationally, everyone knows Ghana as the global leader. Wow. But statistically, you can Google it. Nigeria is the highest producer. So we need to do better, and our government needs to give us the enabling environment to be able to have our own share in the global market space.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aisha. Any parting words for our founders who are watching this? What do you want to tell them? How do you want to encourage them to continue what they're doing?
So we are all Nigerians. Resilience. You have to be resilient. As a founder, you just have to be resilient. When you're resilient and you become like, you remain consistent, you will definitely go somewhere. Don't just give up.
Thank you so much, Aisha. Thank you for being with us this morning. We wish you success in the Grab Livestock. We cannot wait to have you back in the studio sometime soon to tell us more success stories.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, viewers, for joining us this morning. It has been an exciting conversation with Grab Livestock, looking at the agricultural sector and how you can bring in technology to be able to enhance the sector and be able to even provide better services to not just your customers, but also to the people that you're buying from. We've also heard from Aisha the importance of resilience, the importance of staying consistent, and also how government can create an enabling environment for Nigeria to really shine on the global stage as the global leader that it is, for producing not just foodstuff, but also so many other things that we have. As we know, Nigeria is very abundant. We just need to put the right things in place, and we would actually take our rightful place in the world. Thank you for joining us this morning. I hope this has been an enlightening conversation for you. Remember to stay tuned every Friday, 9 a.m., and we continue this conversation, bringing in exciting guests and people from different sectors in the startup space to talk to us about the importance of social impact and still making profit. Do have a wonderful weekend, and bye for now.
That was the startup show with Farida Yaya, but we're moving on now to go join Daniel Black with Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow. Smart farming time. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greener solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow. Here we promote smart solutions for greener harvest. I remain Daniel Black, your host, and remember, this is a media for agricultural development project of Growth for Sustainable Agriculture, an NGO poised to support African farmers to develop sustainable practices. And on the show this morning, we'll be discussing something very, very key, something that we think will help African farmers to develop more sustainable practices, to become more profitable, to become more resourceful, maximizing the effort and the energy they have put in. You know, prior to now, we have this PR on agriculture that it's a poor man's job, it's for the poor people, you cannot get rich using agriculture. But I think the narrative is changing and there are different ways this is happening. So we want to talk about that, and we have a very, very wonderful guest, an expert in the house who has been in the business for a long time. And but before I introduce her, I just want to introduce our topic, the importance of agribusiness education for farmers in Nigeria. Is it important? We'll have to answer that question. Our guest in the house, Mrs. Fidelia Agera, the CEO of Feedland Limited, based off in Benue, but almost everywhere in Nigeria. Fidelia, it's wonderful to have you on our show today.
Thank you, Mr. Black.
I know how long I've been dragging you, bringing you. You appear and disappear from Abuja, coming for conferences, coming for activities, and then, but we are happy to have you on the show today.
Thank you, it's an honor.
And of course, to discuss this very, very important topic of importance of agribusiness education for farmers in Nigeria. So let's just get started with what is agribusiness? Is it just another nomenclature? Is it just something that people are bringing to the table? Is it just another jargon? What is agribusiness in relation to agriculture?
Thank you very much. When we talk about agribusiness in a layman's language, we're talking about planting seeds into the soil using the hoe, the cutlass, and then getting produce out of it, but with a clause added to it, which is the business aspect of it, which speaks to value addition, not just converting or selling off what you have produced from your farm to the market, to the final consumer, but again selling it in a more strategic way by adding value to it to enable you get more money out of it. So in a layman's language, that is just what agribusiness means.
Oh, interesting. So you've used some very specific words here, strategic methods. You've talked about value addition and all of that. So in terms of curriculum, in terms of content, what is in agribusiness that differentiates it, that makes it important to train farmers about?
Okay, so what is very unique or important in agribusiness is, one, the innovation that you bring into adding value, the business aspect of it, how you carry out your business innovatively and strategically, how you source for your customers, how you package and transport your product to the market, to the final consumers. And in adding value, how do you add value? What is the environment? There are certain parameters that are being measured or used to ensure that this product you have added value to is safe for human consumption. So there's that aspect of compliance as well. There's the aspect of certification. There's the aspect of storage. All of that embedded in it. And when you are adding value or you are being innovative, like I've said, it speaks to you being very, very creative with what you're doing. We know that people farm cassava, process cassava into gari, and then they sell. So when you go to the market, you see the gari being sold in coastal rubbers, in basins and all of that. But then when you look at the agribusiness and strategic agribusiness aspect of it, for me as a business, as Feednen, as a company, a food processing company, I decide to add value to this gari. And let's say I've added coconut, using my coconut OFSP gari now. I've added value to the gari. There's coconut in it, there's milk, there's sugar, there's other spices that are more healthy. And then I've translated it into instant gari. I'm not doing the regular gari every other person is doing. My packaging speaks to it. The quality of my product speaks to it. So for the busy person out there, when you go to the market to buy the regular gari, you are still going to buy sugar, you're still going to buy milk, you're going to buy coconut if you're someone who likes to add coconut to it. But for us, speaking to innovation in agribusiness, we've added all of that and it becomes instant. Once you buy it, all you need to do is just add water or more milk and more sugar. And
you know, gari has been saving lives since 1959.
1800.
Well, that's a beautiful one. That's a good one. And yeah, thank you for that answer, because you've actually linked up to the next question I wanted to ask, right? Because, you know, we're encouraging more young people. We are talking about youth coming into agriculture, and now we are talking about agribusiness, innovation, adding value and all of that. So how can young people come into this, or can young people tap into the agribusiness and, in quotes, dodge the concepts, the mindsets that they used to have about agriculture?
Okay, yes, young people can come in, and as a matter of fact, they are already coming in. Myself and you, we are young people. We are in the ecosystem already. And for them to come in, they being stakeholders in the system, we need to first get their buy-in or prick their interest for them to come in. And that is why I appreciate what you're doing here, because this goes out, it's on the TV, and for anyone watching, they will pick interest in it. Because when you started, you said, or we all know rather, that agric is perceived to be a poor man's thing. It's not meant for people who are educated. It's not meant for people who live in the cities. It's meant for those in the villages, for old people, peasant farmers. But we have been able to change the narrative, and we are here. So by doing this and by doing the bit that we are doing in our individual businesses and every other person that is a key stakeholder in the agric sector, we are making agriculture attractive. There's also the aspect of education, because a lot of people, our generation now, the Gen Z body, they are not so interested in going to go and sit and learn and read so much about these things. But when you come with at programs like this on TV, you are putting out that content out there on social media, which is their first point of call. You make it very attractive to them. And then it also goes down to introducing this when it comes to policies, for it to be taught in the schools, starting from the primary schools, secondary schools, introducing them step by step to the point where you prick their interest and they're able to key in willingly without being forced.
Wow, Madam Fidelia, you're really doing justice to this.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I want you to specify, to pick like 3-4. So in the implementation of agribusiness, pick 4 innovative careers that have come out of the agribusiness ecosystem that young people can actually key into. And because the idea is, if we continue in the path that we were, we may end up in a generation that there are lesser people producing food. And we know that food production is key to the survival of any race and per time. So what are key for those that don't want to probably farm and dirty their hands, right? Key professions that young people can key into and say, I'm in agriculture, I'm in agribusiness, but probably necessarily not farming or necessarily not dirtying their hands. It could still be farming, but necessarily not dirtying their hands.
Okay, so I'll start with you. The program now is still part of agric education that you are doing. It could be journalism. You're talking about
spreading the
information about agriculture. There are certain states or locations or things that people are doing in agriculture that so many people, the youth and the general populace in Nigeria and beyond, do not know. So when you take it upon yourself as a business or as a youth, you go into that as a business to throw more light on this. Push your focus on different innovations.
Exactly,
creating content, but I don't really want to go into the content like that. I don't want to go into the content like that. Because there is that social media aspects of the content creation or journalism as aspect of it. When we move away from the TV, the radio, and the classroom that we have, then there's also the aspect of value addition, which is part of what I do. And then it's not just adding value to things, adding value innovatively, churning out products in a way that will wow your consumers. That is the value addition of processing. You can also do the aspect of storage. You don't have to farm. You buy off when such produce are in season, and then you store. So going into the business of it, you could own storage centers where people come and pay rent and then do that. And then there's the aspect of logistics as well, where it's a very big issue for people, because we have most of these things. Take the case of Benue State. We have so many raw materials. Now is the season for mango. They have fresh mangoes, but it is not easy transporting those mangoes to maintain the freshness. To Abuja is closer to the east, to the south. So it will be innovative for the youth who comes into that aspect of the agribusiness value chain to produce cold chain storage. It also serves as a service by providing those cold chain storage right in the collation centers where those raw materials are being gathered. Is an aspect of business. Then we are not talking about that content creation using social media, advanced social media. You talk about TikTok, you talk about YouTube, you talk about Instagram, you talk about Facebook and LinkedIn. You know, putting content out there that was not obtainable before now. When I go on, I see so many cooking ideas. I see
nowadays, if you click how to
like you're teaching people how to produce these things that they never knew how to produce,
and
as
more
well.
Information is needed.
There's a lot of information out there. There's one of my friend who is a YouTuber. He goes around Favours Park. You can search him up.
There's an advert there. Go ahead, please.
Yes. So he goes around to interview farms. He has done a whole lot of that, and making videos about those farms. We have some majors. when we went for our study tour to Port Novo and Songhai Farms, he was with us, journaling and documenting every bit of our process, and it's out there.
Please, what's his channel name again?
Favors Park.
Park.
So for someone who is here in Nigeria that does not know about Songhai Farms, will watch Favors video, and then will know. And then it has piqued the person's interest to say, okay, let me try and go to Songhai Farms to see all the innovations they are doing in agriculture.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But we cannot just shut down this episode without you telling us a little about Feedland. So in less than 1 minute, what's Feedland Limited all about?
Okay, Feedland is a growing, innovative agribusiness company. Bettered out of the food basket of the nation, Benue State.
There's a state that is coming to collect that title.
It's not true. You can't. I have the support of my governor. So we add value to food produce to make them table-ready food products. And we are not just looking at adding value. We are looking at adding value to make sure that those products are nutritious, are healthy, they are available, they are accessible. And then we do consultancy, we do trainings, community trainings, advocacy on topics that border around our community, particularly the underserved communities in Benue State.
Thank you so much, Fidelia. I was about to call you
Fidelia Feedland, but of course, that is your brand.
Thank you so much, Fidelia, for throwing more light on the relevance of agribusiness education to farmers in Nigeria. And of course, the beautiful thing, the wonderful work, the innovative work you're doing at Feedland Limited. It's such a pleasure to have you on this show.
Thank you very much.
I am very certain that someone has heard today's episode and has decided to pick a value chain in agriculture and participate, because the more these people come in, the more innovative young people come in, investors come into the different value chain, the better we can produce our food.
We need the young people.
The better we can do that and all of that.
We are getting old. Our parents are getting old.
Yes. Recently, my 6-year-old son, I don't know what he was discussing with his mother. He came out and asked me, "Daddy, how old are you?" When I told him my age, he shouted and said, "Jesus, that's old." So, of course. So, it's been a beautiful episode, this episode. And today we were talking about the importance of agribusiness education for farmers in Nigeria. And we did that with no other than Mrs. Fidelia Aguera, the CEO of Feedland Farms. Feedland Limited. Yes, Feedland Limited. That is all we'll take on today's episode. If you have more agribusiness ideas you can talk about, you follow us on social media, comment on our post, and let us know what you think. See you in the next episode.
In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greener solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow. Here we promote smart solutions for greener harvest. I remain Daniel Black, your host on this show. And remember, this is a media for agricultural project of GSAI, that's Growth for Sustainable
Solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow.
Thank you so much for being with us through the program. It's been a wonderful episode and I thank you for watching. But this is where we end today's edition of Aso Morning. Have a wonderful weekend. Hooray! Thank God it's Friday. So have a wonderful weekend. We'll be back next week, as you already know, with so much more.